Good morning. Salman Rushdie is a is an Indian-born British novelist. People speak very highly about Salman Rushdie and Indian writers, thinkers who are very critical of India's unity and integrity, India's Indian civilization, culture, tradition, and so on, appreciate Salman Rushdie more. I have recently listened to one of his short interviews, which is incomplete in social media. I thought I should respond to it. A journalist named Michelle Hussein interviewed Salman Rushdie for Bloomberg Weekend magazine. I don't say that this is an interesting interview, but it is very disturbing interview. How can an author of international repute make pass remarks against against the country where he was born? This is a very calculated interview. They did it for a certain purpose, and the purpose was to tarnish the image of Indian government and India as a whole. India is the safest country in the whole world. It is heaven for the people who live in India, irrespective of their caste, religion, community, and so on. Everybody is fully protected in India. And it is very unfortunate that people who criticize Indian philosophy, Indian civilization, culture, so on, also live very happily in this India, in this country. And this Miss Hussein, who interviewed Salman Rushdie, asks him a question. How do you feel about India under Prime Minister Modi? Is the question she asked. First of all, why should she ask this such a question to Salman Rushdie, who is no more an Indian, who is not concerned with India at all? And it's a very provocative. This question is very provocative, and she has an evil intention in asking this question to him. And look at his answer. I feel very worried about it. I feel very worried about it. I mean, I have a lot of friends in India who are journalists and from whom I get information about what is going on. What is the source? Salman Rushdie makes a very objectionable statement about the Indian Prime Minister, Indian government, India as a whole. And what is the source for making this very blatant, for telling this blatant lie about this wonderful nation in the world? What is his source? He says he has some journalists in India. They are his friends, and they get interesting information about what is going on. And I'm worried about the journalists. I'm worried about Rushdie's friends, journalists, Indian journalists, because why? What sort of information are they giving to Salman Rushdie about India? I don't know whether it is true or false. He may just say that I have got this information from my Indian journalist friends. Interesting. Why interesting? Because you are making a very objectionable statement about India. But tell me, who is worried in India? And nobody is worried in India. Even people who work against India are not worried. Okay, if there is any attack on India, if there is any terror attack on Indians, Indians are also involved in it. So terrorists come from Pakistan and they have support from some people living in India, and unfortunately they belong to all religions. all communities. And then how can they give correct information to Mr. Salman Rushdie? Further, he says, I think everybody is extremely concerned with the attack on freedoms of journalists, of writers, of intellectuals, of professors, etc. In all Indian universities, 80% of our professors are misusing this freedom of speech, freedom of expression, and they write very bad things about India. They project India very badly. They attack the Indian government. They make fun of the Indian Prime Minister. I'm not here to support the Indian government or Indian Prime Minister politically, but as a writer, it's my duty to respect our Prime Minister. Yes, uh, Narendra Modi is our Prime Minister, and it's my duty as a citizen, as a writer, to respect him. Anybody who sits on the chair of the Prime Minister, it's my duty to respect him. And professors are free, writers are free, intellectuals have more freedom than they can expect and ask for. And this man, who doesn't have one eye, is single-eyed man, Salman Rushdie, is saying that everybody is extremely concerned with the attack on freedoms of journalists, of writers, of intellectuals, and of professors. See, a certain section of journalists, writers, intellectuals, professors who make fun of Indian culture, civilization, and who attack Indian culture, and who work against India, who support Pakistan, who support all the people who hate India, also have freedom in this country. So I request the government of India to make laws, very very strong, stringent laws, to punish the people speaking against India and Indian culture and civilization. Why should a person who is against India and should be living in India doing the same work? And further, Salman Rushdie says, even beyond that, there seems to be a desire to rewrite the history of the country, essentially to say the Hindus good and Muslims bad. This is his assumption. This is his illusion, and this is his belief that the Indian government or Indians are rewriting history only to project Hindus good and Muslims bad. Yes, number one, if the history that has already been written doesn't serve the purpose, if it is not good, if it is not realistic, then what is wrong if history is rewritten? So efforts are made to write the correct history of India. And then why should he be worried about only the Muslims in India? There are Muslims and there are Hindus in India. And if the history that is available to us is faulty, in the sense it doesn't tell the complete truth, then we have to rewrite the history to tell the people the complete truth. So let us be prepared to know the truth, to know the facts, and to understand what has happened in the past. And we need not reject the people based on what has happened in the past, and we are not doing it. Nobody in India is doing it. With small problems, misunderstanding, people live in harmony. And unfortunately, there are people who are writers, who are historians, who are intellectuals, who are actors, actresses, film producers, and they are creating the problem. They are dividing. They are dividing the nation. They are destroying the nation. And Salman Rushdie does not have any moral right to talk about India, and he should know where Muslims are very safe in the world. Are they safe in Pakistan? Are they safe in Bangladesh? Are they safe in Gulf countries? They are very safe in India, and I'm very happy about it. As being an Indian, I'm very happy to say, you know, that minorities are very safe in my nation. And what is wrong if India tries to become Bharat? And further, Salman Rushdie says, and they say that V.S. Naipaul once called a wounded civilization. The idea that India is a Hindu civilization wounded by the arrival of Muslims, uh, then what is wrong with the V.S. Naipaul? That's true. This is history. But I don't say that there are only communal riots taking place in India, and we are living in harmony, and we have problems. We have problems, and any nation will have problems, and we are sorting out the problems. And V.S. Naipaul, it is true. If you read the history of India from 8th century to 19th century, you will understand so many facts, so many truths. People who attacked India, people who ruled India, yes, they have done. They have tried to damage Indian culture and Indian civilization. So, but using this, we cannot say that the minorities living in this country today are responsible. But the people who ruled, from 10th century to 19th century, they could be Muslims, they could be French, they could be the British. All of them not only looted India, they very systematically destroyed Indian culture, civilization. Of course, we are still united, and we still have our living relationship with our civilization. But Salman Rushdie makes such a statement. Then this lady asks him second question. I was looking at this book, Imaginary Homelands, which is your criticism and essays written through the 1980s and first published in 1991. And do you warn about a lot of things? And you do warn about a lot of things that have become more extreme ever since. So this journalist tries to project Salman Rushdie as a futurist, as a visionary. She tries to project him as an author who knows what is going to happen in the future. And I have read Salman Rushdie's novels, and I have listened to his many interviews. I have read his interviews, and this man doesn't have a good opinion about the country in which he was born, and he has his limitations, and he thinks that everybody in the world has the same kind of limitations. I have not read this book, Imaginary Homelands, written by Mr. Salman Rushdie, and I don't want to comment on this. Look at the last part of her question. And you do warn about a lot of things that have become more extreme ever since. And she has to explain, where what things have become more extreme. Then look at his answer. Yeah, I think, if you, as a writer, if you are paying attention, then sometimes you see things coming, and I think that is what I was doing. I was paying attention. So Salman Rushdie, at the end of this incomplete interview with this journalist Michel Hussein, says that he was paying attention. I do not know to what truths, to what facts, Salman Rushdie is paying attention. And major Indian writers writing in English are in close contact with Mr. Salman Rushdie, and and when they come together, they talk only about the so-called limitations of Indian civilization and culture. No, English writers like Arundhati Roy and others, they are in good terms with each other. So I can only say that if you have not understood the greatness of Indian civilization and culture, it is your problem, it is not our problem. And number two, you do not have any moral right to talk about India because you are no longer an Indian. Number three, you are giving false information about this very great country, and you are trying to project India as a nation which is which is using the government machineries to crush the rights of the minorities. And you should know that minorities are fully protected in India. And this minority majority, I have my own reservations. I don't want to discuss here, but they are safer than the so-called the people belonging to so-called majority communities, and their rights are protected, and they have more freedom than others. They have more facilities than others, and they can practice their religion, and they can do anything they want to do. There are no restrictions at all. So, and when this is the reality, and Salman Rushdie is saying that the attacks are carried on on writers and historians and professors, which is very true. Thank you so much.